The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
What's up, Internet? Paparazzo Dave Chapman here again. This week I'm at GOBfest, Edmonton's board game festival. Games on boards. So, I've got a huge challenge ahead of me. What am I taking on today? Today I'm looking at Feudum. Alright, so here's the thing about Feudum. That box is huge. Even at that, this game is deceptively big. So, Feudum is not just a large game, it is a long game. In-game, it takes place over 5 epochs. An epoch is an indistinct measure of time with a median range of about 15 million years. What that means, to learn and then play a game of Feudum, if you don't know what you're doing, it's basically played in real time. Seriously, it doesn't take that long, but it is a very long game. It's what's called a 4X game. That's a term that came originally from video games and has moved into more and more board games. Very short explanation for those who don't know what it is basically a large-scale game with multiple avenues to victory. In this case, you can go through and you can actually conquer places for some military might. You can do commerce. You can do farming. You can do exploration. All those things help gain you points to eventually win. The official how to play video for this game is the shortest one I've seen. It's 27 minutes. I'm going to try and do this in less than that. Every player has an identical deck of cards from which each round they will choose 4 that they're going to take their actions from. For example, first they may want to migrate in a new pawn. Pawns are a little square with different guilds on each thing. When you put a pawn into play and take other actions, you get influence in a specific guild. If you have influence in that guild, you can then take a guild action, which often is a commerce action, moving things between guilds, bringing resources into play, and then once you've done that, you could potentially move your pawn to another territory. There is an element of territory control. So you're trying to gather those resources and use them. You're trying to keep your opponents from doing that. You can attack. You can do all sorts of things. On top of there being those pawns, you can also attack with monsters. That's right, monsters. Look at these adorable things. Rawr. These are what make this game look like it is much simpler than it actually is. So that's the barest bones I can give. As big as that game is, through the joy of crowdfunding, it's even bigger. So on their first Kickstarter, they replaced all of the cardboard tokens for things like ships with these wooden ones with some foil on it. Their most recent Kickstarter takes these, replaces it with a 3D model completely painted that you can actually fit your pawn inside and fly across the board. There are other expansions. There's a Queen's one, which I don't have. There's squirrels and conifers. You replace the wood with little trees. And then the food is replaced by squirrels. Little pink squirrels. Here's the thing. Pink is much easier to deal with than green for a colorblind player. So these can be then swapped out in the regular game for food, making it much more accessible to people. How great is that? So, this is one of the biggest games I've played. It's probably the biggest I've reviewed. And it's something I'm not going to get to play very often. It's just too big for the players that I have. I don't have the time to teach it. But now that I have a handful of players who have learned it with me and who enjoyed it, because we all enjoyed it, I'm definitely pulling this game back out again in the future to give it another shot and maybe actually finish it because, quite honestly, I have not got past the second epoch of time. But it's great. Definitely pick it up. In the meantime, I want to thank Mike from the Game Tower for taking the time out to teach me and some friends how to play Feudum. I want to thank The Watch, of course, for having me on to do these segments. The 427s for the music that you hear at the front end of these videos. And until next time, keep playing games.